Coach of the Year, George Karl. Actually, I think it's 25 years as a coach. Finally named the Coach of the Year. What do you get for that, George? George Karl joining us on the show.
I get a really nice trophy. I used to have a clause in my contract, but I don't think I have it anymore about a bonus if you got Coach of the Year. After not getting it for about 20 years, I said that's why I put that in the contract.
Wait, you don't know if it's in the contract or not?
I'm pretty sure it isn't in the contract. I would be shocked if it is, but I don't think I ever had it in Denver. So for the last 8, 9, 10 years, I haven't had it. So I think I might have had it in Milwaukee and might have had it in Seattle.
Would you trade in the award for another round in the postseason?
I think everybody knows that answer. I've always said the Coach of the Year award is a little bit. We as coaches, we want it. We when we get it, we're humbled and proud to have it. But I think there's always been a stigmatism of those guys get fired, and we don't actually understand exactly why certain guys win it on certain years. Because I think right now this year you probably had 5 guys that could have won it, and maybe should have won it. There's a lot of guys doing great jobs in this league, and I kind of wish they would actually give an Eastern Conference Coach of the Year award and a Western Conference Coach of the Year award, kind of how they do the Coach of the Month awards, because I think more recognition to the jobs that some of these guys do, and it's just fantastic coaching, and half of us lose every night, and so there's half of us are probably being criticized and scrutinized.
Who would you have voted for?
Oh, that would be a tough one. God, you got me on the spot now because I've been. I think Spoelstra's done a great job. I always think that Thibodeau does a great job, and I haven't. Mike Woodson does a good. I think all the guys. And, probably my favorite coach in the country is probably Pop down in San Antonio.
He's a quirky dude, but I know what you're going to say. It's sort of like Belichick. People say, "Oh man, when you're around him, he's really funny." Is Popovich funny?
He's a very intelligent funny. He's a very he has a sense of humor that has a dryness to it, but also an intelligence to it. So it's not vocal or really loud. It's just really kind of smart and clever. So I think you would love him. I mean, he loves to drink red wine. He loves to share food with all his friends, and he's just a real. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a great coach. He's
George Karl, the Coach of the Year, Nuggets head coach. You firsthand knowledge saw what the Golden State Warriors can do. Do you agree with Mark Jackson? Best shooting backcourt, Klay Thompson and Steph Curry.
I wouldn't want to sign that contract yet, but I would keep it on my desk and give it a year or two, and I would probably think that if they will prove out to be, and let's understand what we're saying. The greatest shooter ever. I mean, this is like, wow. I mean, we can't. I mean, I coach guys like Purvis Short and Chris Mullen and guys that could really shoot, and we're saying these guys are better than that. My gut says we should wait a year or two, but if I was a betting man, I'd probably say at the end of their careers they're going to be in the top 5.
Well, Steph Curry's going to make anybody, just having him in the conversation makes the backcourt great. It's not the greatest shooting backcourt of all time. Maybe the best deep shooting, but not the best shooting backcourt of all time. So I agree with you. Let me see a little bit more. Klay Thompson's got to be a little bit more consistent. He lit up the Spurs last night. I'd like to see a little bit more.
I think the guys, the three-point line has put so much power into making that shot. And Golden State right now, I mean, San Antonio is a great three-point shooting team, and Golden State is better.
Yeah.
And Golden State is probably the second or third best shooting team from the three ball in the NBA. But Golden State is better. And they have a personality that they believe in it, they trust it. When we prepared for the Warriors, we were amazed at how many games that they had. They were down 7 or 8 points, 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. And they would go bam, 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 and they would win the game. And it wasn't, dunks. It wasn't anything except 2 or 3 guys knocking down 2 or 3 threes in about a 5-minute stretch. And the game would go from a 5-6 point game to over. and it was so powerful. And their personality has so much confidence in it. I mean, you watch them play sometimes, and you see a bad shot go up. It doesn't bother them. It's okay with them because they know that in time they're going to make some of those shots.
Final 30 seconds. Phil Jackson tweeted, said, "Congrats on Coach of the Year and nice run in the postseason." Doesn't he know you got knocked out in the first round?
Well, Phil also has a good sense of humor, but it's not as nice as Bob's sense of humor.
You think he was tweaking you a little bit there?
Oh, I'm sure he is. He always likes to dig in a little bit.
Hey, congrats, George, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, Dan. Thank you.
All right, George Karl, Nuggets head coach. Now, I was going to ask him about should the Bulls play Rose. Here's the hard part. As a coach looking at somebody else and saying what they should do with their team is difficult. It's, that it's open to, it's in the moment. It's individual. And the interpretation of that is I don't know everything. I don't know everything going on with that.